You go in, what are you trying to accomplish with the board? Just, I got my 10 minutes. What am I trying to accomplish?
Our approach is sound. Our security efforts are effective. Are you comfortable with our risk appetite? 3 things. The board relationship should be a relationship. I think there's been a past where we think that going to present to the board is like being called to the principal's office, and that's the wrong way to approach it. We have to recognize that the board is our ally and that they can help us. And our job is to give them the right information so that they can make decisions and not be surprised. Not about being scared and only answering the questions that are asked and only responding to what you think they want to hear. We have to drive it. And that's a big shift.
You want to be able to go ahead and develop trust. You want them to go ahead and feel comfortable that you know what you're talking about. You can be humble about it, but be knowledgeable and be firm that you know what you're doing. I'm not there to go ahead and preach at them or throw data at them.
When they ask you for your opinion, now they're really introducing risk and putting themselves out there because they're putting their money where their mouth is. And they're saying, you can help me make this decision.
When they start asking the personal questions like that, then you know that you're trusted and they're looking at you as actually being a partner.
The board is accustomed to having a discussion that's mostly financial in conversation.
My slide deck is usually about 3 to 5 slides. When I get there, typically cybersecurity is at the end of the day, not at the beginning. The board spent most of the day already dealing with all the numbers and all the stuff that Yael is talking about. And so I'm very cognizant of the fact that I'm lucky to be talking to them. And I'm definitely looking to not bore them. And so I could use dollars, and what I was showing was, okay, this amount of investment resulted in this reduction in risk, this improvement in workflow, for our various teams and our various departments. So I try to do things like that.
From a metrics perspective, unless it's talking about your risk level or your operational performance, the board isn't the place for them.
It's just not that difficult to engage these people. And I think as long as you speak knowledgeably and you're not overwhelming them with metrics or panic or FUD or that kind of thing, I think the board just wants to know they have the right people for the job in place. And anything you put in business terms, if it's got business value and you care about the organization and you care about the impacts and you're doing your part to minimize those, if it has business value to them, you will get it.
Because you asked me earlier, how do you know you're losing at the board? And yeah. I would say that when you start to get parental questions like that, and that's how I call them, how do you know? Like questions that your parents ask you or you ask as parents, that's a sign you're losing at the board. And to me is one of those examples.
Yeah. Well, it's a sign of, they're not really trusting your competence. I remember once the mayor of San Diego asked me, just how secure are our networks? And he was kind of taken aback when I told him they were a work in progress. And I sit there and I told him, I said, well, I'm either going to get fired or he's going to go ahead and get it. I would much rather have somebody go ahead and ask me, how mature are the networks currently? What areas do you think that we need to go ahead and work on to improve? What I find is CISOs are afraid to ask for something. They're kind of like they give out their numbers and then like, woohoo, I'm out, I'm done. And I'm like, no, this is an opportunity, use it. I want them to understand they're getting value for the dollar that they're spending. I'll actually talk with a board member over coffee and stuff prior to the board meeting to make sure, am I capturing what they are looking for? Am I going into the weeds too much? Am I talking about stuff that they don't understand? And if they don't understand, then I know I got to go back and provide more context. But I always try to go ahead and do that before I go into the board to make sure that I'm effective, that I'm hitting the mark that they are looking for, from a business perspective, so we can get things done. You hate at the end of your slide deck when you get done talking to them and you look at them and they're all glazed over, or they don't get what you said, and the only word in the room is, okay, thank you.
Oh, that's cold.
You're kind of like, crap, you're seriously screwed up.
What were the biggest mistakes that you've seen, Gary, from CISOs in the boardroom? Like, what are some of the ones that you've seen that leaders or at the board is just not happy about?
Two of the biggest things I've seen, one, you challenge a board member.
Oh,
You
challenging.
challenge
That's
a
a good
board
word.
member and you want to argue with them. I'm just like, what are you thinking? I'm like, no, that's not the place to go ahead and do that. It's okay to say you don't know, but just don't say, I don't know. And be able to, there's a nice way to, I guess you could say there's a very easy way to go ahead and relate to, hey, you're not always going to have all the information. That's fine. Relax. That's okay. And it's just, I don't have the information for you right now. However, I can get it for you.
They want to hear that our approach is sound, that we've aligned our risk appetite to the strategy, that our investments align to the business priorities, that we've aligned to an industry-leading maturity model.
Yep.
And then the second thing they want to hear is that our security efforts are effective.